Hi, this is Richard from Modern Healthy Hong Kong. I'd like to thank all of you who watched my previous video and hope that you found the information useful. I would especially like to thank those who commented and shared their journey with us. In this video, I will talk about the following 4 topics. So topic 1, the result of my biological test. Topic 2, the importance of monitoring your key biomarkers. Topic 3, an update on the main supplements, so NMN, Resveratrol, Berberine and TMG. And topic 4, a couple of other supplements that Dr. Sinclair has said that he takes. I've added time links in the description below so you can use them to jump ahead to any particular topic that you want to. Okay, my epigenetic age. So just before Christmas, I submitted a saliva sample to a company which measures your epigenetic age. The test process is that they send you a kit to collect your saliva in a plastic tube. You then send the sample back to them for analysis. When your results are ready, they appear in an application that you can put on your phone. My results took about a month to come back. So let's have a quick look at the screen of the app. Here's a screenshot of my results. I'm 58 years old. You can see the result of my biological age test showing that I'm 50, which is 8 years less than my chronological age. I'm quite happy about this, as it seems to show that my health improvement and anti-aging protocol is not too bad and is working. Since I took this test close to 3 months after I'd started with NMN, I cannot say whether NMN has reversed my biological age or I'm younger than my chronological age anyway. So I would suggest that if you haven't started and intend to start taking anti-aging supplements, that you take a test similar to this so that you can have a more clear idea on whether the supplements are helping you. So previously, I believed that the methylation method of measuring biological age could not go into reverse, but there was a study that was done in the US, which Dr. Sinclair mentioned on a podcast, that shows the Horvath clock can not only be slowed down, but can actually be reversed. So my intent is to repeat this process in 3 months, and at this time I should have been taking NMN and Resveratrol for half a year. I will be excited to see if I can improve on my biological age. One final note on this. There is more than one way of measuring biological age, and I plan to talk about this on a later video. So monitoring your status. So there are a couple of aspects to this that Dr. Sinclair has spoken about. So when he was talking to Dr. Mike Hyman, they were discussing the supplements he takes, and one of the things he mentioned as being important was that he was watching all his markers, his biomarkers. So his point was that the supplements are really experimental in terms of their use on humans, and being aware of his markers would give him an early warning of any issues. So we have also had our blood examined, and will repeat the process every few months to watch our key markers, both in terms of seeing anything go wrong, but also of course looking for improvements. So another point that Dr. Sinclair raised, which I think is important, is that you should be aware of your DNA. For example, he has had bad genes which are causing him high cholesterol levels, and that he takes statins for. So my wife and I have also completed a DNA analysis with a company in Hong Kong, where we gave them a sample of some cheek cells, and they provided a report highlighting some of the features found in the DNA. The report is quite detailed, and it covers diet, nutrition, fitness, sports, ancestry, character and behavioral traits. So the service also includes a 30-minute consultation call after the report is out. So let's jump and have a look at a couple of sample pages. For example, this is a page from my wife's report, which shows that she is probably lactose intolerant. So this agrees with our experience. So when she drinks milk, she feels a bit unwell. We did a full allergy report, which showed that she had no allergy for milk or dairy products. But the DNA shows that she is probably lactose intolerant. So as she drinks small amounts, the lactose builds up, and then eventually she feels unwell. And this is a page from my report. And here we can see that I have, I'm not very good at processing fat. I have a high fat sensitivity. And based on this, I've been cutting down the butter in my bulletproof coffee. And this may be why I have high cholesterol in my blood marker report. So this is one of the good side effects that we have found from taking this journey. We better understand our bodies, and we are now watching our key markers and tracking our performance more closely. We're planning to do another body check after half a year of taking NMN, which will be in April this year, and we are looking forward to getting the updated data. So this in turn leads us to improving our lifestyle as we notice and measure our activities. I would guess that many of you watching this video are like-minded people, and this is a great way to stay motivated and on track. Now, a few updates on the key supplements. And so just to note again that I am not recommending the suppliers, they are just the ones that we are currently taking. So NMN. So there was a couple of questions on NMN, so I would like to address these. So one of these was, should it be taken on an empty stomach? Well, so Dr. Sinclair takes his on an empty stomach, I believe, because he takes his in the morning and he skips breakfast. And this is very similar to our protocol as well. So in terms of dosage, Dr. Sinclair did address this in a couple of answers in his recent AMA. He said in general dosage should depend on the body weight, and he takes 1 gram because it seems the optimal number for him. So he gave his weight as 135 to 140 pounds, which is around 61 to 63 kilograms, and is close to my weight. So I have now increased my dosage up to 750 milligrams a day, and so far I have had no side effects. So as mentioned in my first video, my wife increased her dosage from 600 to 750 milligrams before and got a headache, and so went back to 600. So she recently retried this experiment going up to 750, but again got the headache and is now again back at 600. So this may be because of her lighter weight. My wife is about 40% lighter than Dr. Sinclair, and so the dosage would make sense. So Resveratrol. So based on the discussion from the first video, I did more research on Resveratrol. And I put some of this in the comments on the previous video, but I would also like to address it here. So as mentioned, Resveratrol comes in 2 forms, cis and trans. I've found that some supplements do not specify which version of Resveratrol they say. It just says Resveratrol, and I believe that this means it is either cis or a mixture of cis and trans. The bottle should say explicitly that the purity of trans Resveratrol, and which should be over 98%. So I've linked other articles which compare cis and trans Resveratrol below, but I think the key thing is that Dr. Sinclair finds that cis is not effective when used in his lab, and he discussed this on his podcast with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. So I believe that pure Resveratrol should be white or off-white. If it's brown, that is probably because of impurities or fillers in the product, or because it has been exposed to sunlight. Though interestingly, MadBen99 commented that he tried exposing it to light and did not see any color change. In this picture, the top powder is the one we had before, which came from the bottle that I held up in my first video. We bought it because it said it was 100% Resveratrol and was cheaper. However, according to Dr. Sinclair, trans Resveratrol should be an off-white powder, so we switched to the one in the lower part of the image, which is officially 98% trans Resveratrol. Note that until the capsule is open, it's not easy to tell what the color of the powder is. So I suggest that you specifically look for trans Resveratrol and the purity of 98% when you're shopping for Resveratrol. So there were a couple of questions on Resveratrol in terms of taking the supplement. So I believe that any source of fat is okay. It does not need to be yogurt. So we have tried MCT, and we've also tried olive oil. Currently we are using olive oil. So the major reason for this is that olive oil has no sugar. So this is less likely to break our fast and cause an insulin spike in the morning. So berberine. So I did talk about berberine as being a possible alternative to metformin, as metformin requires a prescription in most countries. So I had a couple of updates on this. So in an interview with Joey Thurman on his Fad and Future podcast, Dr. Sinclair also mentioned berberine as a possible substitute for metformin. He said that he had tested it in his lab and shown that similar to metformin, it activates AMPK, one of the key enzyme pathways for longevity. It also boosts mitochondrial activity. However, my wife and I have stopped with berberine at the moment as we believe it gives us constipation. as it traditionally is used to treat diarrhea, this makes sense. So as I listen more to Dr. Sinclair, I am thinking that we should try metformin as well. So I would be very interested to know if any of you are taking it and what your experience is. So TMG, trimethylglycine. So I did discuss TMG and taking it as a precaution to ensure plenty of methyl groups. But based on some updated information, I understand from Dr. Sinclair during his interview with Dr. Saladino that he said he has switched from taking TMG to taking methyl folate as his source of methyls. So we have also done this. So we are taking this. So it's folate, methyl folate and vitamin B12 folate. It comes in small capsules, and so we take 2 of those a day. So there was a couple of new supplements that I wanted to talk about that Dr. Sinclair has mentioned. So the first one of these is alpha lipoic acid. So that's this one here. So this comes in little capsules of 600 milligrams. So this is a strong antioxidant which, among other effects, helps reduce blood sugar. The compound was originally championed by Dr. Denham Harmon, in some ways a godfather of longevity study, and Dr. Sinclair mentioned that he took it as it seemed to have worked for Dr. Harmon. So this was in his podcast with Dr. Mark Hyman. So we have also started taking this daily, 1 tablet of 600 milligrams. So the other one is D3K2, which Dr. Sinclair mentioned in his podcast with Joey Thurman, as well as with Joe Rogan. So these 2 supplements work together, and they are very much in the mechanism for handling the way your body handles calcium, and also during this time of year, during the winter, when you don't get enough sunlight on your skin, you may well be deficient in D3. So D3 commonly comes as a capsule, but we take it like this. It's a liquid. You just put a couple of drops onto the top of water, and that gives you 600 micrograms. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you found it useful, and if you did, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. We will provide updates regularly on NMN and anti-aging experience, and let you know if we have any improvements or side effects that we've noticed. If you are taking NMN, please do share your experience below. I'm sure that there's many other people in the community who would like to know, and some of our comments in the first video were extremely useful. So thank you once again, and speak to you soon.